for educating the rich and famous. Why are you embedded as such in Ballymun?
I think maybe in Ireland they have the reputation of mainly educating maybe more advantaged sectors of society, but worldwide that wouldn't be the case. My own background, I've always been working at third level, teaching philosophy, but I was about 15 years in Paraguay, in South America. So there, Jesuits would be known more for working with the poor. And I suppose there's a background of liberation theology to back that up. The Jesuits have been in Ballymun since the early 1980s, and for most of that time they would have been working mainly parish work. So we've quite a long history here. I think we began to become aware of education, and maybe in the context of the regeneration of Ballymun, it began to highlight the need to go a step further and look at factors like education that I think most people would agree education is always a key to overcoming poverty, to breaking out of poverty. So starting about 5 years ago, we began to focus more on education as a major issue in Ballymun.
And a major issue in Ballymun, of course, was when you applied for jobs, even if you had your third level,
yes,
your address was a problem. How are you going to surmount that?
I think the regeneration will probably help a lot with that. I mean, there's an effort now to, I suppose, get over the social segregation aspect of Ballymun. There's a mixture of public and private housing. There's an effort to create more jobs. So I think the image of Ballymun is changing. But I think, again, the real issue for the people who've lived here, that it's about 20,000 people who live in Ballymun, is to make the breakthrough, certainly in education. I was quite shocked even to discover that only about 2 or 3% of people in Ballymun traditionally go to third level education, and that would compare with an average across Dublin of about 60%, and in many areas of Dublin it would be 90%. So to find that gap, that in a small city like Dublin you can have a gap between, say, 90% going to third level and 2 or 3%, was quite shocking. So when we began to look at that, we found that the issue was certainly education, but it wasn't enough even to give people just free fees and say go to college, that there's a huge cultural gap that had to be addressed. Many people are intimidated just walking onto a typical third level campus, a university or even a small college. It's extremely intimidating. So our project tries to begin that process here in Ballymun without leaving Ballymun, and then offering the students a range of supports to make up for any deficits they may feel they have from their previous education. So it could be reading, writing skills, communication skills, study skills, using libraries, and we support them right through the process of getting a degree, and we have the first student now working on a doctorate.
Yeah, so does that mean people will be preempted using drugs if they've got drugs?
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of wanting to go back into education, but I was coming up against brick walls. I was like, no, go out and get a job. Go into a different job. No, there's a job here, there's a job there. But I've always wanted to go back into education, but I was, again, no matter where I was going, I didn't actually get any help at all. And Mary Love referred me to J.U.S.T through Frank Brady, and he then set me on a course. He was like, okay, you can go back. I said, but I'm 24. I left school when I was 16. I don't have any degrees. I don't have anything at all. So he's like, that's no problem at all. That's grand. You'll be all right. And it was like, it's all right. It's not like a formal thing. You're not terrified to go in, and you just feel comfortable in the class, and you meet other people in the same situation as you. So it's just a relaxing environment, and it's like, okay. I went for an interview last weekend at Plunkett's College to go back and do my Leaving Cert. Terrified, but I went in and I was prepared because just got together and they were like, okay, expect this question at the interview. Okay, they're going to ask you this. So you're not like, oh God, they're speaking different language, I don't know that language. And you don't forget your own name, you know where you're going with it, and you just blend into it. It's like having a conversation and you just feel more comfortable. So I was really relaxed. I actually didn't know they were Jesuits when I first went in. I mean, I've obviously grown up with the Catholic religion, but it had nothing to do with that why I came to J.U.S.T. I, in fact, was in it about a month and a half before I realised they were actual Jesuits. So that was kind of sitting there, okay. But you're not treated like it's a religion. Like, religion is not brought into it. It's education-based.
Well, just as a service here that's available for anybody in Ballymun who has any interest in going back to education, whether that be a third level education course or maybe a distance learning course. And there's tutors here available, like the Jesuits have a great record of their education and studies, and so they can support people here. There's a support service here where I'm studying a distance learning course at the moment, so I can come here for tutoring and to go over any questions I have about the course I'm studying. And the tutors here just help you realise that you can go back to education and you can do whatever you want to do.
Just made a huge difference to my life. I was studying chemical pharmaceutical science down at the ECU after leaving cert in 2006, and it just wasn't going well. So I left that course, and just gave me huge advice. I'd been involved with Just beforehand, but just gave me a huge wealth of advice as to how to, you know, pick a new course for myself. And I met with the director, Dr. Kevin O'Higgins of Just, and also my tutor at Just, Paddy Green, who gave great encouragement in finding this course now, which I'm doing in the first place, which I always wanted to do in the first place, down at DCU, Economics, Politics and Law. So, I mean, it's a huge motivational aspect to just, they really encourage people to fulfil their potential, and, you know, they really, really, really encouraging of students, and, you know, manage to, I suppose, show them the way towards, you know, what they can do in life and what they, you know, in themselves want to achieve.
And Michelle, you're a young 23-year-old woman and you're working in this with the Jesuits. Why?
I'm really interested in education. I'm really interested in helping people to realise their potential and supporting people. But I think I came to Ballymun because I was really interested to see what life is like for people who it's a little bit more difficult, who are struggling but really, really want to get on and just need that little bit of help. And I thought, you know, this is somewhere I can make a contribution. I always associated the Jesuits with education because I went to a Jesuit school. So for me, it was very natural. But the new part was the social justice, the going out into somewhere very, very different and just being with people and just really enjoying and learning from them. So for me, that's really helped my faith.
Is that confidence building when you see a person growing confidence and the joy coming out through their eyes? I mean, is that the living faith?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even for myself, if you'd seen me come out of my tutorial last night, I was buzzing. I was just so happy just introducing ideas to people, seeing them reflecting on their own life experience, seeing them come to life. For me, that's what faith is about. It's just the potential that each person has and the life that they have in them. Now, there's a great strength and resilience, and that's what really draws me to somewhere like Ballymun, is that you have people who really, really want to succeed and who really want to get to know themselves a little bit better and just live their own lives a little bit better. For me, it's faith in action. It's doing faith. So what's really, really great is it's coming to Just has meant that career, faith, everything about me, it's like it's all one. It's all coming together. It's just getting in touch with real life, and that's what faith is for me. I think young people have a great spirit, but it's dormant in a lot of people. They don't really, really believe that, or they're not willing to take a chance. I mean, they're thinking career, they're listening to what other people are telling them what they should be, whereas I think I took a chance to come here and do something completely different, a different way, and I've grown stronger in that, stronger in myself and stronger in my faith. And I really believe more in people as well since I came here.